Okay, stand by. 3, 2, 1. We are live, bitches.
We are live.
Okay.
Excellent.
Listen. Uncle John.
Yes, sir.
Do an intro.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to yet again another amazing experience that you're about to have with myself, Uncle John, Gary Roberts, the one and only, and the return of the prodigal son who just had his own child, the one and only Jason Merlot. Happy to have you back, Jason. So excited.
Happy to be here.
Now, tonight, everybody, we got some good stuff. I'm pretty excited tonight. We're going to talk about, a lot of this is revolving around the Michael Devin match. We're going to talk about the rules because last week we had Bill Collins on the show and we talked all about the rules, only to find out this week that a lot of what we talked about is now going to be null and void. In a way.
And listen. And to tease, okay, we just have to say real quick. Someone complained last week, oh, why don't you start off with the good shit? It's like, dude, that's not how it works in the world. This topic that you just brought, I just finished watching that video, and there is some exciting stuff in there. Something that actually just blew my mind. And Uncle John off camera, he's like, dude, I know you're loving it right now. But we're going to tease that because some of you may have not watched that. So do not go anywhere because holy buckets. Go on, finish your.
So also we're going to be talking about the reality of how much money is this thing bringing in, right? Like it's been very difficult to really know what's going on. How's it going? The pay-per-view is extremely reasonably priced. You could have got it for as low as $3 at one point in time. I think now it's like at $8 or something like that. But what was it? Arm Wrestling News, Pradeep, he kind of broke down sort of an estimate or a guess about how much money just the pay-per-view could potentially be bringing in. And it's a pretty, I think it's a big number. But I don't know how. I need to talk to you guys about the reality of it because I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. And oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my boy from across the world, none other than the Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward. What's going on?
Bang! It has been a while since I've been on this show. How is everybody going?
We're starting off hot tonight. We're getting hot tonight.
Yep. Good. Should always be hot. And I'm starting off hot because of you, Gary Roberts. You changed the time of your show and it stuffed everything up at work. I have to have a fake shit every Wednesday so I can hide at work so I can join in and have a laugh.
Wait a minute. We've been doing 7:30. Uncle John told me from the beginning that he had practice. We had to start now. Same time, bad time, same bad channel. Did you guys have
a while you were starting a bit later on and I was able to
No, you guys, because we here in America, we change time zone, we change daylight savings times.
That's probably what it is.
Good point.
So are you saying that
daylight savings time as well? All right, I retract it, Gary. I apologize. You got me. I apologize.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you guys in Australia don't change times twice a year?
Yeah. Here where I am in Melbourne, we have daylight saving 6 months of the year. It's the best.
So I don't know. I don't know why we're an hour off, but that's the only possibility I could think of. But
sometimes it goes offset. It's offset in some areas.
Okay, so you mentioned Pradeep.
Yeah.
So Pradeep and we started off a little hairy. Mm-hmm. I think I got to know Pradeep when I was going crazy, and we've since mended fences, and I like his energy. I think he's doing some good stuff with his channel. Anyways, I mentioned that I was falling behind on content, that I could not keep up, and he said, "Listen, dude, I'm addicted." He's like, "I do not sleep at night. I do nothing but." He's like, "I have no relationships in the entire planet because I've actually glued my eyeballs two arm wrestling channels, and I eat, sleep, and breathe arm wrestling content. I am now convinced that there's not one person in the planet paying attention to arm wrestling as much as one Pradeep.
It's possible. It's possible.
So God
Big
love the
call.
man. God love the man. Okay. So I said, hey man, my first employee is going to be somebody who actually paid to scrub the internet for content. And he says, listen, Gary Roberts, I am such an arm wrestling junkie. It is such a drug to me that I do it for free. Okay. So you need to pay me. I will update you. Anyways, if you did not know, I exaggerated slightly, but he loves arm wrestling. Anyways, I said, you know what? You feed me the hot topics. And of course, he just made a video and sent it to me. And then I said, well, I'll plug your channel and I'll watch your video. So he put out a video. And before we get into the D. Larrett, M. Todd, Team Michael.
Boo.
Team Michael Todd. Jason Merlot, which team are you on?
It's switched.
You have to have a team.
I was on Team Michael Todd in the beginning. I've kind of swayed over to Devin's side.
That a boy.
Aussie?
I reckon I've changed my mind over 4,500 times, but I'm gonna settle on Team Michael. I'm gonna stick with it. Did a show with Uncle John yesterday. We did a prediction show. He went Team Devon, so I am going to go the monster Michael Todd in this one, and it's gonna go like 7-6. This is going to be like a long tennis match. It's going forever.
So after watching your video, Uncle John, and you said, oh, Gary Roberts is on Team Michael, and he said, nobody is on Team Michael. He said, everyone is Team Devon. And I'm like, this can't be true, right? That Michael Todd has a fan base, but I believe this could go either way. But for our purposes, you're Team Devon, I'm Team Michael. And do we have a challenge? Is loser got to do something crazy?
Well, I think we just got to decide what it is. I think the big push at the beginning was the hot chip challenge, but you didn't seem so psyched about that.
Well, when you say hot chip, how hot are you talking about?
I have no idea. I've never done it before.
Are you talking about something that could put me out for days and go to the hospital? Because I'm not into.
No, you shouldn't go to the hospital, Gary. Gary, if you go to the hospital, then you're really gonna have a bad rap. Like that's bad. That's bad.
Wait, here's the thing. I am up for a hot challenge, but I would just let it be known. I've watched some of these videos on YouTube, and as not scared of Barry Bourne as I was, I'm as equally fearful of hot things. So
you should do either the hot chip or the hot gummy bear or the hot chocolate, or any of those are supposedly like super high tier. Any one of those would be excellent content for you, Gary.
Okay, so chat room, help us figure out something that doesn't wreck my life and haunt me forever. I want to have fun, but I don't want to. I've read those things like it's the hottest thing on the planet, and
the loser's got to hang out with Barry Bourne for a day. The loser has to be Barry Bourne's butler for 24 hours. That includes dressing the man, combing his shit goatee, and putting him into bed, and you have to read him a bedtime story. That is the challenge.
Terrible. That's terrible.
That's right. You don't want to lose.
Okay, so back to Pradeep. Now that we've established, and anyone, we have 49 of you joining in. Listen, I honestly was like another week on rules. Rules could be a little boring, but to be honest, we went over the rules, and then Devin Larrett released this video saying, never mind. And I'm telling you, this is fascinating material. So we're going to have to build this up a little bit, hang out, because this is really interesting. So let's go back to Pradeep. Pradeep made a video, and I wrote down some notes. Did you watch, before you get into the 100 grand thing, did you watch Pradeep's video, Uncle Jay?
Yeah.
There was on there, Jujimufu was actually the first to be invited. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That was the first I'd heard of it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So Pradeep has come in handy. Thank you, Pradeep. Go over and sign up for his channel. But I was like, he said something very interesting in that video, that one of these guys needs to be an established arm wrestler. So he wasn't really loving the Larry Wheels Juji matchup.
Well, it's an interesting concept because I think for us as arm wrestlers, we need an actual arm wrestler in there, right? And that's not to say that Larry isn't good or Juji isn't good. It's just that they're not established as actual arm wrestlers. Now, there is an argument to be made that Juji versus Larry from a non-arm wrestler perspective could maybe sell more. But I mean, Schoolboy is a real arm wrestler and he's also got over 1 million subs. So, you know, that's a better choice in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting.
That's a weird one. I think for outside of arm wrestling, Larry versus Juji is fantastic, but I couldn't see too many arm wrestlers tuning in. There would be a massive uproar if there was a huge super match. I know a lot of people turned their nose up that Juji was in WAL. So yeah, it'd be real interesting to see if that match would actually happen.
I mean, I was very interested. I thought it was more interesting that he turned it down. Like, what does that mean? That means he knows, like, oh shit, Larry stepped up his game. I definitely haven't been solely focused on arm wrestling.
Larry beats Juju easy. Yeah, now 12 months ago might have been a little bit different, but yeah, Juju went off arm wrestling, just stuck to his ninja workouts type stuff. But Larry wins that. If that's today, Larry wins easy.
Yeah, he said he wasn't. I got NatFit. I've been pumpkin spice. I've just been waiting to open this. I'm gonna try it tonight.
Yeah, I wonder why Juji is deciding to get back into it, and I wonder why he kind of like fell off from it as well.
Well, I wonder if
I think he fell off because it was interfering too much with his actual training and his channel and everything there. Because arm wrestling training just interferes with most sort of strength training. I believe I watched something along those lines. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things, but that's what I think, where he stepped away from it. He thought he'd done enough of what he could do.
Uncle John, I got to do something real quick. What? My train of thought got messed up. My bad.
Well, I think the other part of it is that Juji's involvement with arm wrestling also involved Tom quite a bit. And then there was that whole issue that kind of happened. And then there was, a month where nobody knew what was going on. And now, Juji's kind of starting back into the whole thing. So I'm super happy that Juji is coming back, but I think it's probably multiple things that were kind of holding him back, but I'm glad he's hanging out with Michael. I hope he continues to do it. And I hope Larry continues to do it because it's all this stuff, no matter what the rhyme reason, if we have guys that are at the top of the fitness pyramid, whatever you want to call that, the powerlifting, the bodybuilding, the fitness community, and they're talking about arm wrestling, it's nothing but good for us, in my opinion.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
I was concerned about, so when I came back into the sport, everyone's telling me, oh my gosh, this and that's going on. And one of the things that concerned me about Jujimufu early was he just doing, as a content creator like himself, who's like, you're kind of experimenting, you're trying a bunch of different things in the fitness and the body, and you just, trying to keep the audience interested in new things. And I was wondering if arm wrestling was maybe just a fun side project and then would move on to something else. So I'm really excited to see that he was back at Michael Todd's and, you know, still involved, because I don't believe he's had some arm wrestling video. If I were to add up his arm wrestling, his videos lately, how many were arm wrestling versus other content? I mean, he was slipping on the arm wrestling content. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whereas Larry Wheels, he seems to be going
the other direction,
balls deep, all in. Anyways,
there's plenty of money to be made with that partnership with Devon and Michael and this whole pay-per-view thing. I think Larry, and he's got a smart businessman, Adam Silver, behind him. So I think Adam Silver saw gold coins, ironically, and just went, yeah, you've got to keep going with this, because we're hitting a white hot spot at the moment with this Dubai matchup. So I think Larry saw money, and Juji just went, oh, I wouldn't mind a slice of that pie, and starting to come back.
So go ahead.
I'm surprised nobody, or unless maybe they have, I'm surprised nobody has tried to interview Larry or that team in sort of like this podcast format. I'm surprised nobody has done that, unless it's been tried and it's not.
Well,
yeah. I've tried with Adam Silva, his manager. I've reached out to him, and he's very accessible, but he's just too busy. He films and edits. I'll read the exact message. He's awesome. I wouldn't mind, but I have to edit multiple videos per day for Larry's channel as usual, but also some additional videos to get people excited about the super matches. That's from his manager / videographer.
I reached out building up to the New Year's Eve thing with Derek Smith, hoping I could get some Larry Wheels action, and I was never gotten back to. And I think I'm free to say that at some point, apparently, maybe Team Larry Wheels and guys over there saw me creating drama on the internet with Alex and Bill Collins, and thought to themselves, this guy's a little, I don't know about this guy. So I have to, continue on. Now that Barry Bourne is in the past, hopefully my days of being an idiot on the internet are coming, as I'm now focusing on my ROTN shows and trying to produce good content and keep sharing old content. Hopefully I can stay out of the drama and build some relationships, because in the old days I'd be tight with all these guys, right? But
No, don't you dare, Gary. That is so hypocritical of you. You want RVJ to constantly cause drama and lose it on his channel, and then you're hoping to step back from it. That stuff with Barry Bourne was legendary. I absolutely loved it. So I hope once in a while you calm down, you get the ROTN thing going, you're building up, then bang, you just throw in just a little bit of crazy to remind us all how good you can get that level of craziness.
Oh my gosh, we're getting off track, but I will let you know. I will let you know that yesterday I spoke to Travis Bagent.
Ooh.
And I was like, hey dude, answer the phone, bro. And he finally answered the phone. And I was like, bro, listen, dude, I want to know, do we have a show? He's like, I'm bored. He's like, I'm bored. And I was like, well, okay, I get it. If you don't want to do any more shows and you're bored, but everyone thinks that we are off because of what happened between us. I said, the last time we were on the internet together, you made me cry. And he goes, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe you would do something. I don't believe you would do something like that. He's like, don't play with me. And I was like, he's either a very good actor or he's pretending like he didn't know. And he's like, I don't recall any of this. Let's move on and blah, blah, blah. So he agreed to do a podcast today. And he said, I'm too busy. Can't get out of this meeting. Let's try again tomorrow. So there could be a Beauty and the Beast. Not 100% sure. But to your point, I like RVJ drama. And drama on the internet, talking trash, being funny, isn't exactly the same thing as running around a venue So Waxahachie is a small town, right? I hadn't really given some thought to that in Waxahachie, you can spit to the left and hit the border of the town and spit to the right and hit the border of the town. There's only 2.5 potential venues, and one of them is that convention center. And it's like, yeah, maybe, you know, it's taking a risk, unnecessary risk by potentially causing someone to say, ooh, those arm wrestlers are a bit nutty. You know what I mean? We don't want you back. So I get what you're saying. There's room for fun and a little drama. But when we're talking about venues and, you know, burning bridges, that's another topic. Anyways, Pradeep, he spit out 100 grand. He said, Michael Todd says my link has generated 3,700 bones in sales, pre-sales. And then he later said that they think most of the sales will come in, you know, just a couple days few. So he, I guess he did some math with channel, their following, and used Michael as an example to extrapolate out with all the 5 different channels that this could total 100 G's in pay PVs. I think that would be, I mean, that would just be game changing for the world of arm wrestling as we know it. If that happens, is this number too good to be true? What say you, Uncle John?
No, this is like so far out of my realm of expertise. I don't really know how any of this stuff works. I don't know how, you know, what what portion of all of that money, like what is that? So let's say it totals 100,000, but what does that 100,000 really mean? Right. Because you got to pay for, you know, the upkeep of so many things. Like, is it all, what was the number that they were searching for, I guess, is probably the valid question. I think it's great. It sounds really good, but I don't know if it is really good.
Okay. Let me use an example of, like, let's say the movie industry. I don't know if you remember, I've said a million times, I love movies. And the movie came out, The Waterworld, and they talked about the budget, and it was like ballooned. It was the most expensive movie of all time. And then it came out and it made really good money, but they said that they totally didn't make any because of their budget. And now it's like, if you spend $500 million to make a movie, you need to at least make $1.5 billion for them to be happy. So now it comes, if you generate 100K, how much did it cost you to put on this event? And there's no way that this costs, you know, blockbuster size movies. We're talking independents, right? We're arm wrestlers. So I think the budget has got to be pretty small in my mind. So there's no way. What?
But what's the purse? The purse is probably 20 grand, I would guess, at least.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Right. Well, like, that would be your biggest chunk, right?
No, then you got to get everybody there.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but it's probably their budget's probably 100 to 120,000. So if the 4 competitors get a minimum of 10 grand plus a 10 grand bonus, that's 60 grand, right? You fly everyone over there and put them up. That's another 10 grand.
We sent Derek Smith over there for $2 grand.
That's what I mean. Okay. I'm just throwing it out loud. So we're up to about $150,000.
Look, in my opinion,
if 100,000 people buy the pay-per-view at $4, you still have $250,000 left over.
In my opinion, based on the hype, especially on Michael's end of, you know, just in past videos of saying the pay is good, I think they're getting a little more than $10,000. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. Like, I think a little more, a lot more. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I think that comes also from like Core Sports are giving them something, and then of course all the replays. There's some sort of YouTube and sponsorship revenue as well because they've got 8 or 9 sponsors. So I think the money's there. I think it's profitable, and if we can get 100,000 people to buy an arm wrestling pay-per-view, I don't really, even if this doesn't make a profit, I think it's still fantastic for the sport because 100,000 people bought this pay-per-view link. I think it's incredible.
That's the thing, though. I wonder what Larry and Core Sports is thinking behind that. Like, what was their initial expectation? How much? And I know, look, I have a feeling that Larry doesn't even care about it. He just wanted to do this for the sake of holding this match and like making it the biggest match in history. That's what I would like to believe. And it just seems like he's genuine that way. So I just wonder if they're covering it all. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm very curious to see what their expectation was just on their end of what they thought they were going to generate. And hopefully they're not, disappointed.
Okay, Pradeep also said something about that Schoolboy was the only person receiving a percentage of the pay-per-view. Can anyone validate that?
How does he know that? I want to know that because I have a feeling in one of Devin's videos also, he kind of hinted at, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but he said something like, I don't know, if they hit a certain level, then after that level, like Devin and Michael get some portion of that pay-per-view. Don't quote me on that, but for some reason, like something like that is like sticking in my brain right now.
Okay, wait.
Are we talking? I originally thought we were talking about $100,000 worth of pay-per-view buys.
Yes, that's what we were talking about.
100,000 people buying.
We're talking about 100K generated revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
Right. So how many purchases would that be? If it's going from like $3 to $6 to $9, we have to average it out at $6.
100K divided by, let's say, an average price of $6.
Yes.
That's 16,666 pay-per-views. That should be easily achievable, correct? 16,000?
Yeah. Is that a lot or is that a little? What is everybody's thought on that? Is that a lot or is that a little?
Oh, okay. Let's look at Larry Wheels and his fan base. How many fans does he have that want to watch him arm wrestle?
I mean, very little then. 16,000 is very little.
Yeah, there's got to be more than 16,000 that want to watch Larry arm wrestle and will pay $5.
Right.
$6.
Well, the other thing that people keep saying in all the chats are like, oh, I'm just going to wait till it's on YouTube. I'm just going to wait till it's on YouTube. The question is, how will they handle that? I don't know if they're going to is it going to be on YouTube weeks later, days later? I don't know.
John, you might have a good point, though. You know what? Because I was actually thinking about that. And I mean, obviously the time zone is completely different. Devin was hinting at that it might be like noon Eastern time over here. And I'm like, damn, I have to figure out how I'm going to work, figure that out with work, how I'm going to fit that in. Obviously, I'm going to make that happen, but like that's a thought of mine, whereas some people might be like, I'm not even going to bother trying. I'm just going to wait until after the event.
Yeah.
Like, where's their main audience? Where does Larry think his main audience is? Is it the United States or not? And like, that's a concern in terms of time.
It's definitely not Australia because it's 3 a.m. so far, our time. And watch it. It's definitely not here. But yeah, that's a huge point. I've been to boxing matches in England that started at 1 a.m. because it was prime time in the United States. Costa Zoo, Ricky Hatton. So yeah, that's a really good point, Jason, to see where the main audience. Yeah, is it worldwide or is it the United
but then
States?
Again, there's another point because it's almost like the arm wrestling was an afterthought because this was after that. This whole arm wrestling thing came about after the boxing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like slipped in after that. So it's almost like it's not the main highlight, really, in a way. Does that make sense?
Here's a little bit of context. Evan Burgoyne in the chat said PAL had 13,000 buys, he says, I think, when Bresnan pulled Vovoda. So if they only get 16,000 buys,
that's no good.
That would be abysmal. considering this is Michael versus Devin, but I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know. I also don't know if that's buys or total money. So we have to be people are Eric Racine, Top Roll Productions are asking about that as well. I don't know, and that's why I'm kind of lost on this because I don't know.
Here's the deal. Here's what's important: the money. Like, it's really easy just to stick on the money. Once you talk about people, it's like, okay, money's easy. I mean, if you say people, then you got to do the math. And did they buy early? Did they buy late? It's like, let's just check.
I did not buy yet, if that matters at all. I did not buy it yet.
You're on what? Sorry. Oh, we are muting Jason Merlo. Holy buckets. We are muting you. No, just kidding. That was.
I bought it first day it came out.
Trying
I
to
got
be
too
funny.
excited. Like
I should have stayed muted. Gary.
Here's the thing.
I had the choice.
I wanted to go back to what somebody said is going to be on YouTube. Listen, dude, the arm wrestling community, you've got to there's going to be some asshole in the arm wrestling community because he's looking for clicks who's going to screen copy the pay-per-view and try to upload it so he can go viral and get his channel some subs. And I'm telling you right now, if you're that guy, you're an asshole. Yeah. Don't be that guy.
No, for sure.
Don't be that guy out there. Not you guys, but one of these, somebody in the chat or somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. It's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here. Somebody knows somebody who's going to try to do that. And it's really jacked up because we are trying to grow the sport. It's just like, don't do it. It costs. I just had Starbucks today. I spent $5.50 on a Starbucks. It's like, y'all can do it. Okay. You all blow your money on something. Don't cheat the system here. Okay.
Well, how many people that haven't bought the pay-per-view have donated to the East and West competition? That'd be an interesting side note to see. Yeah. Or vice versa. So that'll be interesting. I wonder how many people threw money in the GoFundMe for the Engen Terzi retirement card thing and haven't bought this pay-per-view. I think it can hit 50,000 buys. Easy. 50,000.
See, now why would you go ahead and do that, Ozzy?
I just think the way
we just told you. I cannot do the math. Now you're 50,000 buys. Now I've got to do math. You, before you make the call, do the math on your calculator and then spit out the number. Come on, man.
50,000 buys at an average of $6. That's $300,000.
There we go. So you're picking 300K.
Yep. Yeah. Just from pay-per-view buys.
Okay, I changed my assessment. If you're telling, so I'm a cost sensitive guy. My biggest problem with my biggest problem with the UAL was, spending too much money until the base was there. It's like, come on, man, we gotta think long term here. If these guys have spent 100K already to get this off, then I think, you got to start hitting the 300 to make it worth it, right? To make it like we got to do this again. I was thinking we spent 50. We're easily going to make 100. And that's like, oh, we could do this every day. Once a month, Larry Wheels set it up. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, it just really depends. It appears that not too much work has gone into it. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, when you're thinking of big events, because it all just comes down to the dollars made. So it'll be interesting. I think it can do big numbers, and I'm all over it, and I'll stand by it. It's on 9-10 days from now. I think once Alex Top Roll gets on his YouTube channel and tells everyone subscribe, even to buy the event, he just needs 1% of his subscribers. Larry Wheels just needs 1% of his subscribers. Devin has his fan base that are definitely going to buy it. It'll hit 50,000.
Do you want to know something crazy?
Of course.
So my wife and I, we decided, I haven't watched American Idol in like a long time.
Because you're
My
an
wife
adult.
and I decided to watch American Idol. And back when I watched American Idol, there was no YouTube. Like, I mean, it wasn't hot. Like it was, you watch the old channels, you know, Fox. And now they put the performances on YouTube, and it's like they're trying to build their YouTube audience. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, you know, ABC, a major network channel, trying to build this brand on YouTube. And I was like, oh, I wonder what their monthly views are. And I go look, and they're right now, right hot in the middle of their season. 14 million views on YouTube. And I was like, oh, what did Alex get last month? And it was like 28 million views. Or 26, like almost double. Almost double. Are you kidding me?
That's a huge fact. That's blown my mind.
What?
Wow. 28 million views.
Dude,
Beats American Idol. Yeah. Arm wrestling beats American Idol. That's ridiculous.
In case anyone is wondering what happened to the screen, I've shared the date to my events, so no one can see your lovely faces, because I'm doing my first exciting event. Anyways, you guys,
before we get to that, we got a couple super chats. Daniel Urick, $5 super chat, says 100 likes till Jason shows us his rod. All right. We got Canadian Chihuahua with $5 super chat. Thank you, Canadian Chihuahua. Says, guys, no offense, but 100,000 buys is attainable. You are underestimating the reach of Larry and Schoolboy, which is 20 times that of Monster Michael Todd. Well, I don't know if that's what we were saying, but I think it's attainable. I just don't know.
No. Listen, you're supposed to, Michael Todd has 60,000 subs. You're supposed to do the math of what that would equate to. It will, 3,700 for Michael early. That's good numbers, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Michael Todd's not.
I think, with anything, the last couple of days, everyone's like, I'll get it next week. I'll get it next pay. Yeah, I'll wait till my wife's not looking. I'll grab $10 out of her purse. I hope she didn't hear me say that, but that's what will happen. And then 48 hours prior to the event, it'll just skyrocket.
I mean, just for an example, I think Michael Todd had somewhere between 1 million and 2 million views in the past couple months. So if he did 3,700 at 1 million, and Alex's channel has 28 million views, if it was the same number, you do 3,700 times 28, that'd be 103,000 alone on Alex's channel by himself.
Yeah.
So I guess
it's believable. It's happening. We're creating a monster here. Keep punching that calculator. It's happening. I'm 60,000 buys. I'm going minimum 60,000. I've changed it.
We want if you say 60,000 buys, Larry Wheels could donate 1,000 buys. You know what I mean? Like you could be passing out free credits, and then you start. It's money. How much money comes in? That's what matters. Hey, so the final thought on Pradeep's video where he said only Schoolboy gets cut. Oh, you guys already mentioned that. You don't believe it?
Nah.
So you think everyone's getting a cut?
Yeah.
I thought that sounded weird too, that they wouldn't all. I was like, ooh, if this does generate like 500,000, I mean, Michael Todd and Devin Laird are not going to leave the stage. They're going to be like, renegotiating.
Yeah, maybe Arm Wrestling TV could get more of a percentage of the pay-per-views. They'd all be getting a slice of that pie. But because this match isn't happening on Alex Top Roll's channel, so I think he would say, hey, you're taking away my number one source of income, so I want a bigger slice of the pie. You don't have to pay Schoolboy as much, but we need more of that pay-per-view money. So it could be 40% to him, 10% to the others. I think he's getting a bit more than Devin and Michael Todd, but Devin and Michael Todd are getting some of that pie.
Brendan Daniels says, yeah, but Larry and especially Schoolboy's audience are way less emotionally invested. I would say like 25% of Michael's subs will buy, but 1% of Arm Wrestling TVs. So he's saying, I thought Alex and Schoolboy, their fan base is fanatic for them. Why would they not have a higher percentage buying?
Oh, even 1% of 1 million is like 10,000 buys. So I think roughly around 10,000. So 25% of Michael Todd subs is only 15,000 buys. So I think if you just get 2-3% of Larry Wheels and 2-3% of Alex Toproll, then you're sorted. Here's your 100,000 buys.
Okay, I was wrong on Pradeep's video. He did have one final thought where Ingen Terzi put, if you don't support, I hope you don't watch it, or something like that. And Pradeep was saying something about like, oh, I was thinking to myself, if someone doesn't invest, that doesn't mean they don't support, correct? I mean,
look at just about every YouTube channel. People watch your show, Gary, but they might not put a super chat, or they might not, subscribe to your Patreon, but they're still supporting. They're here every week jumping in the chat.
Right. I wasn't sure. Is Ingen Terzi saying if you don't chip in $1, then you're not supporting? Is that what he's saying or not? Or
Sounds
he's
like
saying,
it. I'd have to see it.
The reason I asked is because on Facebook, it seemed like some people are saying that people are boycotting Ingen or something. I personally, I haven't seen any of that. You guys are supportive of Ingen Terzi's putting on. It seems like he's doing amazing stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Well, look, we haven't had big matches in forever. Like, why? I don't care if you like Ingen or not. These are good matches. These are awesome matches. Of course, I'm going to support it.
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest, I had to stand up for 24 hours and get like 40 of you peeps to all come in to get people to raise $2,000. That the fact that they have that at like $6 or $8,000, that's amazing to me. That the community has stepped up is pitching. That's like, it's phenomenal. I mean, I know they said their goal is 20K, but I feel like 20K that's a lot to ask.
A lot of money.
So I like you're successful at that. I don't know what it costs to get all these people to come to Europe, but that's a lot of money donated by the community. You should be happy. And that's a success in my mind. Like, that's amazing. I don't know how often you can do that, but props, well done. And I keep thinking I was done with Pradeep. He said that Larry Wheels and Ingen, all this has got Igor to now announce his top 8 is back. So shit is happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course, he's going to be left behind and lose out on that big, massive money. And he's been behind for the last 6 months now. He's just playing catch up, trying to chase his losses. He's really dropped the ball by not allowing Michael Todd to pull Levan. It was, so Igor's got to play catch up.
Well, I mean, also with COVID, I mean, restrictions could be lessening elsewhere as well, not only in the US. I don't know where it is at everywhere else, but I mean, major announcement in the US about, the CDC saying that you don't need to wear your mask essentially. So that could be opening up a lot of opportunity.
We're up to 100 people. Thank you very much all for watching. Welcome to the show. Do not miss. Go back to, we talked about some cool stuff in the beginning. So rewind, catch up. But Uncle John, do you have any final thoughts on that Pradeep video topics we talked about?
No, not really. I think it's all good. I mean, the final word on this whole thing is, as an arm wrestling community, we should just hope this thing does as well as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Right? So there are more and more and more and more.
I mean, I do not think it could go wrong. You have Devin Larratt and Michael Todd. These boys, they're gonna put on a show. I have 1,000,000% confidence that that they're gonna deliver, and the audience is gonna walk away. Holy shit, this is awesome. Larry Wheels will be like, oh, in the segue, I have one more thing to say before we get on the rules, but watching Michael Todd's video, him going over those official rules, does that not put a stamp on it that this won't be the first time that the only time that Larry Wheels does this? I mean, those rules seemed very official.
Yeah.
Thought out.
Yeah.
So we were only seeing the beginning in my mind.
Oh, I agree.
Let me just look at my notes. I wanted to say something. If you guys could, on my show last week, if you're in the chat, I'm getting the belt made, and I want to have a little credo, a little motto, and I put on the link is pinned to the top. I'm trying to, I had like 10, but YouTube only let me put 5. I'm trying to get thoughts for credos that could go on my belt, and I want it to be timeless. Like, I don't want to change it. I want to do one and done. So please go over, do the poll, and put in your thoughts. If you don't like the ones we put the credit to who came up with it, and pick one or put your own in the comments. Now, that being said, Uncle John, guess what?
What?
So I have moved my event.
Again?
Oh.
For the second time?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
Lord.
is now officially. It's done. Here's the deal. I called my venue, this guy, Mike, Buffalo Creek Brewing Company. It's a cool place, Long Grove, Illinois. They got a cool, sadly, the events during the day. At night, they have cool fire pits, and it's an awesome place, but we couldn't do it at night. But I was like, listen, I'm new to the promoting world. I had no idea this was going to be such a thing, like trying to balance. I'm like, I'm asking does that date work for you, or will you prefer a different date? I'm pressure, but I'm not going to change it. And he said he'd actually prefer the weekend before. And so I kind of put it on him. And so we're June 19th. So we pushed 1 week away from Michigan State and 1 weekend before Nationals in Texas. So after this event's over, I'm going to share all the flyer business. I've made a few changes to the flyers, but I'm really excited. And before we get into the rules, can I share something with you guys?
Sure.
Get it.
Okay. So Corey Miller, I'm going on a mission. Okay. Since I'm back in the sport, my mission is to get everyone to use this program that Corey's developed. I cannot believe how many people run tournaments still on paper brackets. It boggles my mind. Like, how many tournaments, Jason, do you go to a year?
A few, maybe 4.
And how many of them are using computer brackets versus paper?
Probably around half.
Uncle John?
Around half.
Well, we do have Corey's program here in Nova Scotia, so we do use that. But there's a couple tournaments that we do, like the quintuple elimination, where we can't use it, so we do use paper for those.
Okay, I've shared. Funny, we had Bill Collins on last week. He just had a tournament in Hawthorne, and he used Corey's program. And one why I think everyone should be using this program is because you can immediately share the brackets, you can share the results. It's like the paper, it just seems crazy to me that we aren't connected with the tech world. Anyways, they had 4 classes, and I was curious. I was like, so I approached Corey. I said, hey, I want you to add I want to buy your program, but I'm doing something different. and he came up with the eight divisions. I'm having one class broken up into 8 divisions coming down to my top 8. And so I want it to be even weight classes. I don't like the idea that there's 4 guys in a light, 10 guys in a heavy, 14 in the middle. So at my event, when everyone shows up, you weigh in. Then, so we used that weekend, this class, they had 52 competitors. So if those 52 competitors showed up and we're divided by 8, it'd be like 6 guys per class. So I spent all day yesterday trying to get everyone's weights so I could see how their weights would have broken down if they were to show up at my event. Man, Ron Bath arm wrestled like 10 guys who were over 300 pounds at that event. It's bananas. And when I put in all the things, it would give us a 340. Can you see the screen I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the far left, it says class 345. That's the average weight for the heavy guys.
Some big units in that one. Average 345. Wow.
Then the next class, 278, 231, 214, 198, 189, 182, and then 159. So somebody posted in another video I did, they said, oh, your thing is not for light people. So it's kind of a turnoff. So what I want everyone to know is when they come out to my events, but still go to Michigan State or still go to Nationals, only if you go to both those, then you have room left over, come to mine. But one person from each of these classes will represent our final 8. And I asked Corey Miller, I said, you at your best, if you were in this class in the lightest, he said, oh, I would have won. And my best weight, I would have beat all these guys in the overall. That's what he says. And I was like, what? So if you're out there and you're an elite light guy, I'm betting that once we wear down the heavyweights with the king of the table style, that we could make some interesting TV. And I'm so pumped. Anyways, that's my little side pitch. I'm going to release my my flyer after this. Come out June 19th, Father Day's weekend. Aussie arm wrestler, which is only a couple hours to get here, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, 18 hours for 14 hours. So I should be able to get there. I might have to get there 2 weeks early and quarantine. So
Uncle
yeah,
John,
my wife will love it. Yeah, lock it in. I'll probably
Uncle
have to
John,
leave tomorrow.
Uncle John, you're still locked down? The America's totally unlocked. Like,
If I leave my immediate community of residence, I'm fined $2,000.
Bro,
Bang!
Ready,
Money so you can go down to the shops and leave your community.
Jason and I, we don't know what you're living, bro. We in America, they're
It's not like that up here.
They're popping beers, bro. But I did get you. You said in the chat that if you show up the first ROTN, you're gonna put up some money to get an ROTN or you're gonna give us some money, sponsorship.
Yeah, first one I come to, I will throw down $300 for prize money.
Oh, I'm glad we just mentioned that. Before we get on to the rules, I want to read a comment, and someone has turned off. They said, I don't think you should focus on just giving away the most money in arm wrestling. Instead, focus on running the best arm wrestling tournament ever ran. So fans are happy and arm wrestlers are well taken care of. I just want to say to you guys out there, like, come on. Obviously, I want to run a good event, but what is wrong with trying to focus on giving arm wrestlers more money? I mean, this is crazy. Jason, am I doing anything wrong by wishing that I could have big prize purses?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, Gary.
I mean, listen, I'm not at obviously the level of what even Larry Wheels or Angin they're working. But let me tell you, dude, you got to have goals. Hashtag goals. So we're starting small, and I'm just committed. My channel is 20. My channel so I'm putting up $1,500 prize purse, and that's that's over what my channel made last month, which is, it's not a lot of money. but I'm giving it away. I talked to the wife. I said, listen, I know I'm working a lot. I know the channel's not making a ton, but do you care if I give it away? And she's like, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm trying to give it away. So if you guys can come out and support the event, we would appreciate it. Okay. That being said, let's move on to the guts.
How much is an entry for one participant in your tournament?
Okay. Well, because it's my first tournament, I was going to do, this is a true story. I was going to do no entry fee, free to get in. But then I saw the Wisconsin State results, which just happened this last weekend. And I saw that they had like 180 something entries and like so many amateurs. And then I went to an amateur event. I'm like, I talked to my venue guy and I've got a tight window. Because I started small, I'm only doing from 12, hopefully to 12 to 3:30, right hand only. And I'm like, I thought maybe I wouldn't get a huge turnout, but in the off chance that it's too big, I'm doing the first 30 entries free. And then after that, it's $20, but Patreon members get in free. Producers, Patreon members get. So my path going forward, if you're a Patreon member, you won't have to pay to enter in my events.
With after the first 30 entrants, I want to pay for the 31st entrant, that unlucky son of a gun that just misses out. I want to sponsor their entry, the 31st entry. But I need to, you got to tell me like their name and things like that. So I'll send an entry fee to you, Gary. And yeah, I want to know who that unlucky 31st entry is. And
thank you very much, Uncle John.
Yes,
so I called you and I said, hey, what's the topic of the day? And you said rules. And I was like, rules. I mean, how many weeks can we talk about rules before we're putting arm wrestlers to sleep?
Yeah, apparently all the weeks in a row because they keep changing.
But I watched this video. Very interesting.
Big changes.
What do you have on your list?
Oh my God, I got so much stuff. So I think the thing you got to start with is that Devin and Michael had a big conversation with Bill Collins and they videoed it. And it kind of led us to believe that Michael and Devin were going to create the rules themselves that they both were kind of agreeing on. And then they were going to move forward with that.
Exactly.
And it turns out that appears not to be the case at all. Really.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shocked by this.
Yeah. Now, I don't know the background of it. And the only thing we have to go on was Devin basically read off a bunch of the rules from some papers that he had got from Larry's company, whatever, PR Incorporated, whatever it's called, right? Now, I have notes on some of the significant things. It's still going to be best of 6, it sounds like, with a possible tiebreaker 7th match. But a couple of the biggest things are intentional slips, and the foul system is a little bit different, right?
Oh, you're going right to the intentional slip topic.
Well, those are the two things that are the most significant in my opinion. So we can start with the large and small fouls. Okay.
Okay.
So,
can I start with what my first note is?
Sure.
I wrote down Devin won. He said they would flip a coin to pick which side, but he won a rock, paper, scissors. And he said, I will be my start palm facing the ref. And maybe I'm just too new, but can you explain to me why somebody wants their palm facing the ref?
Because then you don't get the buckle.
That's a real thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Really? It's that big of a difference.
Yeah. Well, when you're pulling at an elite level, yes, it's a significant difference. Yeah. Everything matters. Every single thing that happens at that table matters. So him starting there is important.
So you're saying if I could clone Uncle John and you're exactly the same on the left, on the right, everything is equal. You're saying the guy with the buckle or without the buckle? Sorry, I just got
Without,
confused.
no one wants the buckle.
No one wants the buckle.
Except Michael Todd.
Yeah.
Except Michael Todd. So Devin is essentially giving Michael Todd the upper hand in this match.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So you're saying that the twin that you cloned will always win. The one with the buckle always lose.
Well, I don't know if I would say that always every single time. I would say there are things that I personally don't like about having the buckle, right? One of the first big things about having the buckle is that they pull the strap down, which pulls your hand like this. I don't want my hand to be pulled like this. I want my hand to be pulled like this.
Yeah, but can't you, when they pull down, I'm driving up like this.
Yeah, do you want to fight against it or do you want to fight with it? I don't want to have to fight the strap. Just that's just like the baseline, the start of it all.
Gary, do you know what the fairer strap is?
I saw them trying to put it on in Waxahachie, doing it tight and then trying to feed it. All I could think was, this is wasting so much time and it's annoying me. And I'm not sure I like it. Does it really make that big of a difference too?
Well, the percentage of difference is arguable. I don't know if it's 1% or 40%, but to me, I would much rather not have it on my hand.
We'll go back and watch the last match and see where the buckle is on every round, and we'll see who won.
Yeah,
no one wants it, and you get to hide your hand from the head ref. Like if your palm is facing the ref, you get to hide a lot of your little cheats and little movements. Which
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
I'm a genius. Because I'm a call back to my very beginning of the show. Pradeep, you're addicted to arm wrestling content. You have all the time in the world. I need you to go back and review all the big wall matches and get us some stats on win-loss, buckle versus non-buckle for all the athletes. We could use that by next Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Well, he did say Michael and Devin
now, I think.
Michael and Devin have faced 11 times and have only one win against each other with the buckle on their hand. So if that means what I think it means, is that they've only ever won.
He knows this.
That's what he said. Yeah. I don't have any way to confirm this, but I mean,
what?
Yeah. So it's very unlikely. I think what he's saying is it's extremely unlikely that the guy with the buckle wins a match when they have a buckle on their hand.
So what you're telling me, if I could use like an NFL reference, the stats, the team who receives the kickoff in overtime was predominantly the winner. So that's why they had to change like the overtime rules, because they had the first score wins.
Yeah.
So you're saying the guy with the buckle loses more often than not, and we have to switch. That's why we switch tables.
Switch sides, yeah.
Right.
So I get why you're doing a super match, but in a double elimination tournament, I mean,
that's on you. Just don't get on the B side. Just
yeah.
Get on the B
because
side.
Generally the guy who's on the A side gets to pick his side. That's how we do it here, anyways. A side gets to pick. And if I'm on the A side, I'm picking my palm facing the referee, the head referee.
Or if they don't follow that, they flip a coin.
Yeah.
We have whoever's name is called out first on the computer system. So if it says Uncle John versus Jason Malo, Uncle John gets the first side. Yeah, you pick your side, basically.
Very interesting. Can someone just tell me, Michael, does care about the buckle? You guys just said that.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
Michael Todd does not care if he has the buckle.
He wants the buckle because Michael Todd wants the strap as tight as possible. That's what Michael Todd wants, because that's how he trains. He wants the buckle as tight as possible. So theoretically, the person who has the buckle dictates how tight the strap can go. So Michael Todd wants that control because he wants it tighter than concrete.
Arm Wrestling News just said Devin won one match with the buckle in 2011 and won the match. I'm really, is he making stuff up? Do you know this? This is
I
amazing.
do not know any of these statistics. No.
No.
Does he have like autism where he can recall all the facts? Like how do you know this, Pradeep? This is crazy.
He's obsessed. It's like if you ask me anything about fishing, Gary, I'm gonna tell you the answer.
Okay, Jason, per your I've been fishing once in my life when I was a little kid. I don't know much. So not to keep plugging my ROTN, but I am considering instructing my ref that the goal of the strap is to keep your hands from not coming apart, not to be as tight as humanly possible. So it will be just medium tightness, no ifs, ands, or buts, don't care what the competitor says. Is that a weird thing?
I think it's a good thing when it comes to straps and things like that. I think the competitors have too much of a say, and that's why it just takes so long to get it going. Everyone demands where their hand or the strap should be. I think if you want it to just flow and keep rolling on, then you got to just, ref just goes, that's it. Here we go. Ready, bang, we're on.
And then anything from there could be a foul or something like that. It depends on whatever you want, Gary, because we're competitors and it's morphed into now competitors can touch the strap, move it wherever the hell they want, loosen it and then pull it down again, and no infractions are had. Like it's kind of like a free for all.
We're getting into some good stuff because this gets fun. Eric Rusen says, is this true that the person with the buckle decides on the tightness of the strap?
That's what I've seen as of the last 3 years. Like that's kind of what, I don't know, refs have kind of fallen into and have accepted. Just the person who has, because the person who has the buckle technically has the slight disadvantage. So since they have the slight disadvantage, I don't know who started it, but it seems like it's been accepted that that person can dictate how tight the strap is. And it just seems like overall, on average, the majority of refs have followed that ideology.
Ooh,
It's kind of like an unwritten weird rule thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to break tradition on some of these things. Uncle John, leaving the big one, the intentional foul, what is the smaller stuff you have on your list?
All right. So they're still doing 3 fouls as a loss, but there was a distinction between large fouls and small fouls. Okay. So a large foul being a foul where position is gained. Now, this means a large foul means the match will be stopped. A large foul is not considered a running foul. Okay. A small foul or a minor foul is a foul where no position is gained, and that will be considered a running foul. This is a cluster waiting to happen, in my opinion.
Bill Collins is going to get the guillotine no matter what he says, because this is so opinion-based. So
measure out, measure the small fouls, go to the replay. That is a nightmare.
Listen. I know you guys are all just babies in the sport of arm wrestling, but I will here to tell you the here and now that Bill Collins has been there, done that. In the early days, 2000s, when I was around, we only stopped the match if position is gained. So you could elbow hop. I could be deep in a hook, and it happened all the time that I'd go like this, lift my elbow, and then slide it over, drop it. That would not be a position gained. That was just incidental. Leonard was big on it. I believe Bill Collins as well. That was no problem. This was not a big thing.
Yeah, but did they have the actual rules written down? Because now,
yes, it said Leonard Harkless said basically like ref's discretion. We do not call hops if no position is gained. So they decided their eyeballs if that was a game-changing elbow foul or not. They would give you like verbals. Hey, don't stop doing that. They didn't do the running foul, but they. Now,
well, this is the difference, though, because it really does matter if you're going to make a distinction between fouls that stop the match and fouls that do not stop the match. And from a viewer standpoint, it might get really, 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 really confusing.
I'm not even worried about a viewer standpoint. I'm worried about, and it's not a jab at Bill Collins, but like he needs to make the right decision. What if he accidentally makes the wrong decision and then goes to stop it and then goes to continue it? Like, I could see that happening because I've seen the best of refs make those mistakes. And if this is going to be as big as it's supposed to be, I mean, you're introducing these new rules that you expect Bill Collins on the first shot to call correct the whole way through. Like that's
Bill Collins has been around for 30 years, man.
It doesn't matter.
Fine. He'll be fine.
You're combining and morphing a completely new rule set just for this match. Like, that is not easy. That is not. He's used to doing 30 years of what he knows how to do. That's it. That's it. That is that. There is habit in that. Now he has to break that habit for new things. Like,
okay, I can.
That's hard. That's hard to do.
Will they do it? Do you think Bill Collins will do a practice run with some of Larry's crew? You know, get some of the arm and do a practice run of the Devin Michael rules, or do you think he's just going in raw with no Vaseline and he'll just call the rules on the fly? I think he should do practice runs with all the gym junkies.
So for some reason I'm on Facebook. Somebody shared. Oh my God. Crazy George arm wrestling Earl Wilson in the overalls 2013 Mike Gould Classic. And they're having a war. And Earl Wilson, they stop the match and he loses because he lets go of the peg. I want to jump in the screen. At no point in the ever history of eternity are you stopping an arm wrestling battle because of something rinky-dink like that. At no point, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that there's not really an advantage being gained right here. I'm not going to stop amazing arm wrestling for that. And I think this is one of those situations. Bill Collins, they're putting on a show. Potentially, we've already discussed, there's a chance $300,000 in revenue is going to be produced here. You are not going to wreck it by calling fouls that are not game changing. You know what I mean? You're not going to do it.
So why stop any fouls then? Why not just make it all running fouls?
There's a reason why there's rules though. Like that's why there's rules in place. I don't know. This is getting into a slippery slope as always. It's all based on opinion. Everything's based on opinion.
Eric Rasen says, do not try new set of rules on the biggest matches of a lifetime.
I agree.
I mean, that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it must be said they added a video review.
Well, it sounds like they added a video review.
Oh, there's no way that wasn't declaring video review.
I mean, what were the words that he said? I don't remember the exact words, but I remember thinking, will they always use video review? Will they only use video review in certain situations?
I mean, again, I was multitasking trying to get ready for this stream, but I believe it said something like the ref reserves the right to use video review or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
They might get one challenge each or something like that.
Yeah,
to go to the video.
Guys, overall, Gary, John, Aussie Arm Wrestler, what do you guys think on the video review? Do you think this is good or bad?
Okay.
Bad. I think it's bad. The reason I think it's bad because arm wrestling for your waiting, the reward sometimes isn't good enough. You can wait up to 5-6 minutes to get a match started, and then the match is over in under 2 seconds. Now, if we're in a match and we've waited forever, and then they've stopped a battle halfway through to then go to the video review, I think that takes too long. I think you've got a down ref and the head ref. What they should be doing is just looking at the elbow. So many times you watch arm wrestling videos and they're watching their hands. And it's like, you don't need, especially if they're in straps, you don't need to watch them. Just watch the elbows. That's all you need to do. It's, you know, it seems to be not that hard. So, and just, you know, keep an eye on, you know, intentional slips or slips from a losing position. But then if Uncle John and Jason are in a huge battle and it's good and it's exciting after a 7-minute setup, and then I come in and go, stop, we got to go to a video. I got to check your elbow there, Jason. And then I'm there at a camera wasting everyone's time. I don't think it can work.
Okay, here's where I come in handy, because I am a producer. And I will tell you this. It 100% comes down to the production quality of the stream here. You can make this an excitement building kind of situation. If I'm watching a one camera setup live stream from the back where I can't hear anything and I have no idea what's going on, of course, a video review can kill that shit. However, I'm sure these guys are going to have a multicam, people mic'd up, you know, as long as there's held up into the ref's like face as he's discussing with another ref, here's what I see. And then you cut to Michael Todd, boom, shit, boom, 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 you know, and then you cut back and it's like someone else is explaining, okay, here's what's going on. Here's what I see. It could give us some tension building elements to the show. The chat is going to be like, oh my God, of course that's an elbow foul, or of course that's incidental. We're just regripping up. Again, we want an amazing show, right? I think at the end of the day, the last thing we want to see is somebody getting, like for instance, going back to that Earl Wilson thing. Are you kidding me? Earl Wilson is 1,000 pounds heavier than Crazy George, and you're going to stop that match? I want to see a pin. I want to see Crazy George pin the man, or Earl Wilson pin the man. I think that's going to be what's going to happen over there. They're going to use the video review in a situation where somebody's saying, dude, no, we can't end like this. There will never be another pay-per-view if you end the show on this disastrous of a call. That's what I'm thinking.
So should the video review only be included if there's a pin? So they just go to a pin and it's like, I want to check something halfway through the battle instead of stopping the match halfway through. Should they do only the video? Like, so that battle that you were watching with Crazy George, should they have gone to the video review after the match? After the pin?
No, well, see, that's the thing. It's in your rules that it's a foul if you let go of the pin. I mean, that's in the rule. But come on, it's common sense here. Who gives a fuck? Like, don't stop that match. I mean, that's crazy. Then you go review it, and then someone's like, well, technically he did let go, and then we're going to give the win. Like, I mean,
yeah, I don't think we're winning either way.
I'm default. I want the right man to win. That's kind of how, you know, do no harm. We don't want the show end on technical BS.
But Gary, can you break the rules because you do not want the match to end on technical BS, as you call it? Are you saying break the rules because you don't want it to end on technical BS?
I'm saying I was in Waxahachie and there was some good arm wrestling, and like there was a weird call or a no call, and the refs were like, Greg was like, no, that wasn't a foul. Travis was like, no, it was. And there was like, they just said, redo. We're not going to let this end like this. And everyone was like, yeah, don't let it end like that. Like they couldn't agree. So that's, I mean, now if you go to the review and then it clearly someone's right. This is where you get into the Igor versus Wall. Are we entertaining, or are we by the book running a sport? And it's like in the NFL when they zoom in and your toe is the outside line, and it's like, hey, you're out of bounds.
But Gary, my argument would be you can entertain and you can follow the rules at the same time. Like there's both. I was just asking you specifically, like you're saying, if you want to end on, if you don't want to end on technical BS, does that mean you can break the rules for that? Why are there rules?
Here's the thing. When you have these two athletes I don't think either one of them take technical foul. I think they both want to win. So
Of
if
course.
you're telling me the ref is like, well, technically Michael Todd did win, and if Devin Laird is like, that's bullshit.
Well, Gary,
that's bullshit.
I'm going to challenge that.
Michael Todd is going to be like, no, let's go.
No.
That's not what happened
Not
before.
what happened in WAL. That is not what happened in WAL, Gary.
No,
that is not what happened. No,
it's the opposite of what happened.
Absolutely.
It is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Gary, and the reason why it's the complete opposite was because Michael Todd specifically said the winning bonus was so significant that that's what mattered. So I bet you even more so in this event, if this is the biggest paid event ever, nobody's going to care. Either competitor is going to care what they win on. They're probably going to want the money.
And his arm was about to drop off. I don't think he, speaking to him, his arm was so blown up and injured. He didn't want to go again. If he's got the win, why would I want to pull Jerry Cutter again? I think if you're on the winning side of it, you would be like, I'm taking the win. Beautiful. Rest the arm. Give me my money. Of course, if you're on the losing end, you're like, come on, man. Let's go again. But you're wrong on that one, Gary.
So, okay, I may be wrong, but you know what? Doesn't the chat, the people who don't necessarily understand arm wrestling, don't they all leave disappointed when that shit happens?
Oh, of course. But
well, what do you want to do though? What do you want to do? If you're not going to have rules, you're not going to follow the rules. How are we even going to have a game in the first place?
But this is where I come in with my opinion. Like, both competitors have a certain level of responsibility to understand and follow the rules. If they know they're purposely trying to push something, to push the rules and for it to be in their favor, I mean, come on, that's kind of not loyal, and they're not playing they're not playing by the sport the way that they should be. So they both have a level of responsibility in this as well, not just leaving it up to the ref. And in your opinion, Gary, saying we don't want it to end in technical BS, but Uncle John's right. Are we gonna listen to whatever the rules are, A, B, C, and D? Are we gonna listen to them or not? That's what it comes down to.
Okay. This is perfect. Because going back to what you said, Uncle John, originally we kind of thought these guys created the rules. Now, if we were to say, here's the rules, and does PR, Larry Wheels Company, does it go wall where it's entertainment, or does it go WAF where it's more
trying to do both? They're trying to do both right now. Is what it seems like.
Right, but it's taking a little over to more official WAF than wall.
With a couple of the changes, yes.
That's okay though, if they're going that way. That's okay. Whatever the rules are and they agreed upon, that's
I don't think the rules will matter in that match. Them two will just do what they want, I reckon.
That could probably be.
Just for something, just to have something in place, just so it's not too much, suddenly the steel chair comes out, I think they've just put something in place, but I think none of those, very rarely any of those rules will be followed.
Here's another question. What are your guys' overall opinion on how much input they have already put into the rules? Do you think that is good and bad? In my opinion, I think I could see both sides of the spectrum. But in your opinion, overall, what do you think about how much input they have had about rules? Do you think they should just be like, here are the rules, that's it?
Okay, hold that thought, because you're getting into what we want to talk about, the big finale here. I just would like to say, Devin Laird read off the rules, and he said, again, letting go of the peg is a foul. And for the love of God, I'm asking all of you people out there in the arm wrestling world, letting go of the peg should be like a warning first. Tell the competitor to put his hand back. This is crazy to even think that you could stop a match over the pole's here and I'm holding on and I'm on the table and then I go down like this. I mean, come on. Am I really gaining an advantage if I'm pressing off the table versus pressing off the peg? Is that changing the game?
Gary, if it's a rule, it's a rule. That's
But
the
is
bottom
it
line.
stupid rule? Is it a
That's
stupid
fine.
rule?
It's your opinion. That's fine. But I'm just saying, if it's a rule, then it's a rule. If it's
Well-
not a rule, then nothing should happen.
Well, I'm changing that dumbass rule. These are warnings.
That's
These
fine.
are warnings. Time and time again, I've seen it where I'm like, that did not change the outcome of the match. Okay.
I agree with you, Gary. Just so you know, I agree with you 100%. All I'm saying is, if it's the rule, then it's the rule. It's simple as that.
Okay, Uncle John, you and I were talking before we went live, and you said, I thought you'd be happy about this. Why did you say that? What happened?
Well, it seems like intentional slips. So as the background to this, intentional slipping over the last couple of years, especially in the WAL, has kind of been any slip goes to straps, right? We do not see intentional slip fouls called. Even in more strict settings, they rarely call a foul for an intentional slip. But it seems like, according to the way Devin read these rules and Devin's interpretation of the rules, that they may be calling fouls.
Hold on. I would just like to say, since my return to the sport, what you said, the examples out there, the embarrassing examples of what people have done to get to the strap are so bad. So bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So bad. So I just want to say, it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why it sticks in my mind, but the Dallas Langston versus BLM match, you guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Where on the ready go, Dallas just goes straight down. And it's like that. You can't get any more intentional, right? That's just.
Yeah, but what was the rule? That's the question, is what was the rule?
Right.
And if the
I mean, they
says,
put them in straps.
right. So then that's the rule.
Right.
Okay.
It blew the roof off. That's how important it was.
Yeah.
So now we go back to Jason's point here. What do we think? It is clear as freaking day that that there's other people thinking about the rules behind the scenes separately from Devin and Michael.
Oh, 100%.
Because those guys, Bill called them up. They did the live Zoom, and they're like, Bill was like thinking, okay, this is your guys' show. What are your thoughts? And they kind of hammered out some things. Bill countered with some questions. I just want to make sure, and then it's obvious. And I want to say, I'm going to take credit here because I feel like somebody on that team has been listening to one ARMTV talk show because they brought in the intentional foul. And Devin was like, what you talking about?
Yeah. So they specify 3 different ways that you can be called for an intentional slip. Okay. And these are the classic examples, right? There's absolutely nothing new about the ways you are called for intentional slip. One is completely removing your fingers. So if you do one of those where you're like, and then you come off like that, that's an intentional slip. If you are inside and you make a fist with your hand and then pull your hand down and in and not make any attempt to hold on to your opponent, that's an intentional slip. And then if you're in flop wrist and you pull through with no intent to keep your fingers here, that would also be an intentional slip. Now there's other ways to slip that are intentional that will not meet those criteria. So it's not impossible to slip intentionally and not be called, but it really, really, really depends on how strict Bill Collins will be on that.
Right. I agree.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a match from the Mohegan Sun 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I'm starting to lose my balls because I want to have a power hook at my event. And Bill Logston, who I love, he was giving me a little bit of grief on Facebook. He's like, it is basically unforgivable that I could command, take someone's shit, flop their wrists, and they do this. So you see that picture.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have complete control. So Robbie Burnett is on the left. Let's say that's Bill Logston. And he's like, if I have complete control like that, and I think that's Todd Opitz or his brother, I'm not sure. He's like, how in the world can you put me in a power hook after that? And I'm asking you guys, if Todd on the right there, if they slip, is that an intentional slip? When I've been flopped for 20 seconds and I mean,
Well, what are the rules?
well, I'm going to have intentional foul is a foul, and then you regrip, not go to the
but
power.
what is an intentional slip?
Yes.
You have to define it. You
Yeah.
have to define it.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
This guy's arm wrestling, and he's only Robbie Burnett or Bill Logston in my scenario has a real stranglehold on 3 fingers.
Yeah. So according to most of the rules, it depends on if Todd Opitz is making an attempt to hold on with his fingers like this. If he is like this, intentionally trying to slip, according to most rules, including these rules, this would be intentional slip. If he's like this would not be intentional slip. That's not my opinion. That's just my interpretation of the typical rules.
Right.
And Bill Collins will call 0 intentional slip fouls in this massive match. He won't be calling any of them. They're going to the strap every time. So,
I kind of agree with you.
So that's what when they announced the rules, I'm still really upset. Like, I'm upset. I'm bothered that if somebody doesn't get a grip in 30 seconds, that it goes right to the strap. This is the worst rule known to man. It's just stupid. Like, if I am more dominant in a strap, so I'm scared of being out of a strap with my competitor, all I got to do is go up there and F around.
You don't even have to do that. You could just not walk up to the table because there's no rule against getting penalized against that.
Oh, there is in this now. They do specify a rule. It says delaying the match by not standing at the table. That will be a foul. Devin specified that.
Well, like you were saying on the slip, that you can slip no matter what without it being intentional. I can kill 30 seconds without it being obvious. Like,
Sure.
I could complain. I mean, come on.
100%.
This huge match of a lifetime. It doesn't take very much to complain for 30 seconds about something. And then suddenly you're in a strap. I'm begging you guys to change this rules. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Well, I'm not making the rules. Like,
Yeah.
No. I'm begging. No. I know somebody knows somebody who knows somebody is watching this. You, by adding intentional slip foul, you were doing great stuff. You were moving in a great direction, and you completely pissed on that direction by having this dumbass straight to a strap if you can't get a grip in 30 seconds. It's retarded.
Well, it's even better than that, Gary, because there's also a rule in here that says if both Michael and Devin agree, they can start in a strap. So they might just agree to both go to straps. It could happen, and we don't even have to worry about any of it. They just go right away.
They clearly plan on doing matches in the future, and I'm telling you that right there, that's a flaw. I mean, I don't know where suddenly arm wrestling out. Like, somebody posted in the chat when I brought this up, they said nobody wants to watch finger battles, and I'm like, what? A finger battle's never been a good arm wrestling match? What does this mean? Is that dumb? I can't believe the 2 top roll guys like fighting like this. That's not an arm wrestling match, a good one.
I think it is, but the hook looks better. I think everyone just wants the hook just because it looks better. But yeah, I like it when 2 people are holding onto each other's fingers and ripping at each other. I think it's great.
Do you have any more? Oh, so Ozzy says They will not be calling any intentional
No.
fouls. So you're saying they just added this rule, it's going to get ignored and it means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. They're both going to start and they'll both slip straight away, wanting the strap. And Bill's not going to call any intentional fouls like that. May call one early just to set the tone. Oh, that was a rule made. Okay, one foul on you. Because none of them are going to foul out per se or lose a match on a foul. I think every one of these will be pinned. They genuinely want to see who the best. There will be, but no, I don't think there'll be any intentional slip fouls.
What I think this speaks to most is that it is most interesting that this feels like a long-term game plan with these rules, and that they've got more stuff lined up for the future, and it's not just, this one hyped event here.
Yeah, if the rules work, then it could definitely be a game changer. They're not, even though they're arm wrestlers, they're not dumb. They know exactly what they're doing and why they're, experimenting with these rules and agreeing to particular rules. I mean, Uncle John's probably got a list of 35 rules there that won't even come into the match, but just in case it does, then it's something good moving forward. Then some other, it'll be known as the Devin Michael Todd rules. Okay, you're running an ROTN in September and it's the Devin Michael Todd rules for the super matches.
Like, they have a rule about bleeding. I mean, they really thought this out. This is very official.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Because I'm a fan of rules. Just tell me whatever the rules are. I don't care what they are. I just want to know what the rules are, and I'll follow the rules. That's it. I just want a very clear, concise, know what I'm doing, and that's it. I'm satisfied.
So, Jason Merlot, at my event, I'm more in like, okay, we're making a TV show, and there's a chance. I'm just saying, what if I go to you and say, listen, at the end of the day, I want great arm wrestling matches, and I don't want to end my TV show on rinky dinky bullshit. You're saying as an arm wrestler that's a violation of the morality of rules, and how dare you, and like your show cancels.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm a rule person. I just want to know black and white. What's the lines? If that's how you're doing your thing, then I'd be like, all right, then it's more like I can kind of get away with stuff in the setup.
That immediately goes to cheating.
I mean, that's what you're kind of saying, Gary. If you don't want it to end on technical BS, you're basically saying, how I interpret it is, there's leeway to the rules. That's what you're saying. That's how I'm receiving that message.
All right. Mike's
is
Madness.
Is that a fair statement by what you're saying? What do you think? I mean,
okay, let me say Mike's Madness $4.99 super chat. Hopefully Travis walks out after the match and flips the table over and says, I'm next. Travis Bagent probably will not be in Dubai. No. That's just my thoughts. Nathan Moorhead, $4.99 super chat. All four of you predict a winner right here, right now. Devin or Michael. Okay, we'll do predictions in a second. Jason Merlot, you have made me so frustrated as a human being here. Because I want great arm wrestling. I want a TV show. I'm not saying I don't want to have rules, but I'm saying that, like, I want the little gray area. And you're saying the more gray area you give me, the more I'm just going to take advantage as an arm wrestler.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what we do.
Get him, Gary. Get him, Gary.
Come get me, Gary.
It's so frustrating because you force me to be in a position where I have to pull my ref aside and I have to privately give them a set of rules where I state we're officially following all the rules and we're telling arm wrestlers following all the rules, but privately we're not gonna be, and you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, You forced me to do that by saying that.
What do you want me to do, though? If you tell me that, Gary, what do you want? Do you want me to let my competitor, like, get his webbing higher then? If you're going to be lenient on this stuff, you want me to be as fair and strict as possible since you're telling me that, but you want me to let my competitor get an advantage on me? Hell no. I'm not going to let that happen.
Oh my God, you are exposing why it's so difficult to explode this sport into the world of, let's say, Olympics. How in the world could we ever go to the Olympics? Because nobody. Okay, for instance, let's use running, where they all put their feet in those little things and they have like little sensors, and then the horn goes off and they'll stop that bitch. If somebody goes 1/1000th of a second early, they restart the entire thing. And the viewer at home is saying, I didn't see anybody start early. You know what I mean? It's like, is arm wrestling to be mainstream have to be that tight?
Well, think about it like this, though. So just think about the things. The WAL has rules.
Right.
There's just a lot of rules that don't get enforced. So they already do exactly what you're talking about, Gary.
Yes.
So if you want to know what's going to happen, the WAL is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and is WAL good for TV?
I mean, it's entertaining to me. I enjoy it. But then there's people that absolutely freaking hate it, you know, because it doesn't really follow the rules. And is what WAL is kind of putting out there, is that enough to you know, kind of verify and say, yes, this is the better way to do it? I don't know the answer to that.
And then Gary, it just to piggyback on that, like if I were to pull in the WAL, I already know what to expect and how I'm going to pull based on what I have seen called and not called in the past. So does that answer your question in terms of just rules in general? Like that, I already know how I would pull in the WAL.
And WAL or WAF?
WAL. I'm saying because of what Uncle John just said, I know how I would pull in the WAL.
Man, you guys make it tough as a producer. I just like a little shout out. I'm showing my flyer here Saturday, June 19th, Long Grove, giving away a kick-ass belt. I'm giving away proceeds of the video of the show that's going to air after. I'm giving away 10% of the YouTube channel's revenue. If you show up at the next event, a $200 cash prize. Just so everyone understands that once like first place is figured out, they leave the competition. So we're going all the way down to 8th. And I'm doing a wild card buy-in. So allowing one wild card to do another buy-in to add a 9th. Just trying to have fun, create a TV show. Come on out and love to see you. But if you see the flyer, June 5th, 2 weeks before, you can win a Harley Davidson by going to the Michigan State Harley Pole Championships. Uncle John, how do you get tickets? Like anyone can win that Harley, right?
Yeah, there's like 27 keys for the Harley, right? So anybody who wins a class, I believe it's all the open classes, women's classes, even some of the masters classes, they have keys. And also anyone who enters, I believe, any open class, don't quote me on this. I'll have to go back and look at the rules, but there's a raffle for a key as well. So literally almost anybody could win the bike.
That's awesome. And please support that event. I mean, 2 weeks is fair for a distance. Like someone can go to that event and then be okay to arm wrestle again 2 weeks later, right? Locally, if you're here, that's not a big deal.
I mean, depends on who you are and what you do and all that, but yeah.
Uncle John, that was actually kind of funny what you just said. There's rules for the Harley thing.
Yeah, right.
Gary, would you want gray area for winning a Harley?
Jason Merlot goes bang!
Checkmate!
Well, you're getting a ticket.
I'm just saying.
You're saying, listen, man, listen.
Gary, look, I'm only doing this because this is just how my brain thinks. That's all. I'm just a very detail-oriented person, and I'm just, just like I said, the sky is blue today. Okay, like I got that statement. You know what I mean? That's just how I operate.
Nathan Moorhead, did I not read your super chat?
No, we just haven't made our predictions yet.
Oh, Nathan Moorhead, $4.99 super chat. All four of you predict a winner right now, Devin or Michael. Well, if you don't know, John and I have kind of an ongoing thing. He's team Devin, I'm team Michael, and whoever loses has got to do something hot. So we're known.
Eat something hot. I'm not going to do something hot. I'm not going to do like a hot dance or anything.
No, you got to put your, no, you got to put your weight in something burning.
Bleach your asshole or something.
I think earlier in the show, we did put both Jason and Ozzy have switched sides, right? Remind us, what are you on? Team who? Jason?
I'm settling with Team Michael.
Yes, and I think Devin wins.
Yeah.
And I'm going Devin.
So many
So
times.
we're 50-50. We got 2 for Devin. We got 2 for Michael. That being said, here's what I really hope happens. They blow the gates off the ticket sales, and they put on a hell of a show.
Oh, they put on a hell of a show. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Devin knows how to entertain, and this is a whole new avenue for him moving forward. The entertainment aspect of it will be guaranteed. Yeah, and I hope they get their 60,000 buys, which I'm claiming 60K buys minimum.
You're killing me. What's the number? That's the 300K.
360 grand and an average of $6 a buy.
Okay. John, about a month ago, we had somebody contribute $100 towards maple syrup. You said we put you in charge of that. Are you got a care package for Devin?
So, well, here's the deal. We need to think of something, because there's 2 issues that I ran into. Devin's been posting videos, and he has so much goddamn maple syrup. He has maple syrup coming out of his ears from people, right? He gets sent like a million things of maple syrup. Number 2, like maple syrup, the best bottle of maple syrup in Canada is like $20. So I wanted to do something a little bit more significant for him. Okay. But I don't know what that is. So I am very open to different ideas, all that kind of stuff.
Do we remember who sponsored that $100?
98 blower.
Now, okay, I just want to make sure we didn't forget,
Yeah, great dude.
I want to be a stand-up content producer and honor what somebody put their money towards.
Look, I just don't want it to be like the same old thing, and it's one more bottle of maple syrup that is just going to go to the pile. I want it to be something significant. Yeah. Maybe we turn it into a maple syrup award that then we give Devin upon.
Wait a minute. You might be on something here. Since Devin's already getting gifted with everything, you've been adding all these pancake images in a lot of your videos. What if there was some sort of arm wrestling award created out of this, where like there was some gold plated syrup with I don't know, something creative where, for here in eternity, this little award was given away for something fun, like people arm wrestling with like little pancakes and some syrup, something like that. There could be a funny thing out of this.
I agree 100%. I just been kind of, trying to figure out what that thing is and how that's going to work. And I just need a little creative boost. We did get another super chat from Michael Todd's Calcified Bone. Says, "What's up, Uncle John? What's up, Army? What's up, crew? Gary, I heard and saw Con has better rules. Thoughts?"
Con?
Con be.
Who's Con? Who's Con?
Gone.
Michael Todd's Calcifying Bones. Since you don't have a brain, maybe you're. you know, the couch, Michael
But
Todd's couch.
while you guys work out the con, I have got to jump out the chat. So I just want to say, Gary, always a pleasure. Always grateful that you allow me to jump on here. Jason, your last name is exactly how you are. Just a beautiful, fine wine, a fine red wine. Always love having a chat with you. And I'm glad you didn't back down on the rules. You kept going. And Uncle John, you know how much love I have for you. Everyone in the chat, thank you for supporting ARMTV and what these guys are doing. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, before you go real quick, what's your channel?
My channel, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, the most unique and entertaining way to watch arm wrestling. Uncle John and I just did a predictions video of some of the upcoming matches. So once you're finished here, head over and watch that when you get a chance.
Okay, and you reminded me of this. Did you just go to Ryan Bone's wedding?
I did. Yep, I was the host, the MC of Ryan's wedding.
I had no idea my man was getting married. That's crazy. Congratulations to him.
Very lovely woman. There was arm wrestling there. There was a trophy if you pinned Lachlan Adair, who was the best man at the wedding. Yeah, there was some heavy artillery in the arm wrestling world. It was really, really good venue, good people. I killed it on the mic because I just can't shut up at times. Had an absolute ball. Even won over the Lebanese community because Ryan's wife, family is Lebanese.
Nice. Well, that's amazing. Cool. It made me think of a poll I want to put on the YouTube page. How many spouses would allow an arm wrestling table at your wedding? I think my wife says absolutely not.
I had one at mine.
You had one at yours?
Yep.
That's amazing. I think my wife says no to that one.
I didn't have one, but we had a photo shoot arm wrestling at one point though.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got to get married in shorts and flip-flops, and also got the bridal party introduced to the Hulk Hogan theme song. So I wasn't pushing my luck with an arm wrestling.
You got what you needed. You got what you needed.
You know, choose your battles.
Ozzy, have a great night. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Love you all. See you guys soon. Bang!
All right. Hey, I figured out. Okay, we got 2 more super chats, and one's really, really funny. The Swayze Express 1 says, Devin gift idea. Devin and MMT action figures hand painted by Uncle John. 100%. If anybody can do a 3D print of like an action figure of those guys, I will 100% paint those up and do that. Michael Todd's calcified bone for another $5 says, sock on these balls.
Wait. Wait, I don't get it. What?
Go to his super chat and just read what he wrote real quick.
Sock on these balls.
Yeah. Read some more.
I get it, but his previous super chat, I don't. He
was. This is ultra because he was baiting us into being confused, so he could come back with an over-the-top beater. Oh my God, what a legend!
Come on, Gary, that one flew way over your head. Come on,
I heard suck on these balls.
So we could
I got that one. I just wasn't quite sure how he was really thinking 2 steps ahead that he said something confusing.
I think so. I'll give it to him because that was a hook, line, and sinker for me.
Well, you got me sucked in. Anyways, hey, Jason, you thought, Gary, did you really not know Lachlan and I got married? In Blue Bogan? I saw him saying this was a wedding, yada, yada, and he was looking nice. And I obviously found out then, but I did not see any pre-hype to I'm getting married. I did not. Again, I've been sidetracked for a few weeks trying to get my stuff together for my events. Yeah, I didn't get it. You are correct. Okay.
Hey, we got people that want to recap. Can we recap everything that we've talked about real quick?
Recap. You're the man. Recap it.
All right. So basically, we talked about the whole the pay-per-view buy rates and how much potential money is going to be coming in from this Michael Todd Devin Larratt thing. The numbers are all over the place. Some people think it's going to be $1 gazillion. Other people don't. The end of the day, please buy the frickin' pay-per-view, because we want more of these to happen, because in 2 years' time, when this blows up, I want to be on the pay-per-view, right? Like that should be everyone's goal. Every arm wrestler should want to be on a pay-per-view like this. Then we talked quite a bit about the rules. The rules have changed significantly for the Devin Michael match. I'm assuming they're going to use the same rules for Larry and Schoolboy as well. The biggest factors there were large fouls and small fouls. Large fouls stopping the match, small fouls equating to running fouls, and then also intentional slip is well defined now, meaning that could change some of the situations pending how strictly it's called. Because at the end of the day, there was another rule in there that says all rules shall be interpreted by the referee. So that means Bill Collins gets to decide what a large foul is, what a small foul is, what an intentional slip is, what an intentional slip isn't. We talk about anything else?
We talked about my event a little bit.
Yeah.
Launched on June 19th. So, man, I can't talk about. Corey Miller has some cool ideas. Bring events and brackets and everything to the digital age, and I'm on board to try to get this movement, because I think Eric Rosen has good results. It's really sad to me that other people don't have better ways to get the results. That I don't know how to describe it. Like when I'm looking up nationals results or world's results, did everyone say Eric's the guy, or Eric? Like, it's just interesting to me that if Eric didn't do that work, historical records of arm wrestling would be completely jacked up. And that it's amazing what he's done, but it's completely sad that that's how disorganized the state
we're
of
just
arm
a bunch
wrestling
of idiots holding hands at the end of the day, right? It's not like arm wrestling is still so far beneath the radar that, you know, it's super easy for us to be like, oh yeah, arm wrestling, obviously. It's like the most important thing in my life.
Huh.
But then I go out into reality and people are like, what? What are you talking about? Like, that's what, you know, nobody knows. Still, nobody knows about us.
Yep.
Okay. I think I can say this. Corey Miller's system. If everyone got on Corey Miller's system, you got all the results tied together. Then ARMTV back in the day, I used to have a ranking system where if I tagged the match and you won, then we could have a ranking system based on that.
Yeah.
But with Corey Miller's system, if every single event used the same system, then you could start to keep track of win-loss records. It would be in the database, who you arm wrestled, percentage you win more right, left, how many weight classes you arm wrestle. The data collection that is possible for the sport of arm wrestling is so infinitely amazing if you start to put two and two together. I'm telling you, I'm gonna push this path to get everyone onto this. It's not online yet with the data collecting, but it can happen. That's what I'm gonna work on next.
Daniel Urich, $5 super chat, says, Ray just called. My super match with Larry's gym janitor fell through. Sorry, guys. Side note, it sucks that Neil can't go. Yeah, so Neil apparently is not going to Dubai at all.
Was he ever going to go?
Well, I think he would have if the restriction. I'm assuming it's because of restrictions from COVID, but I'm assuming he would have gone if there was no restrictions.
Well, there's a 100% way, as we know, for Neil Pickup to do a commentating over the broadcasts as it's happening. Come on, guys, we can get. I'm not saying that's not obviously him present being would be better, but it's 100% possible.
I would hope that they set something up.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have any commentating going on, and if it's just like a live stream of arm wrestling, it's gonna be much more difficult.
I'm sure they're gonna have something.
Travis Bagina, $5 super chat. Gary, you don't get anything. You are always lost like my rat from Canada.
What's
Yes. I don't know. I am always lost. Hey, Jason Merlot, you wanted to talk about, and maybe tonight is too late, but let's just tease it. Maybe we talk about it next week. You wanted to talk about, creating arm wrestling channels, content, what goes into it. You brought that up.
I just thought that, just discussing, comparing how I brought up Crazy Russian Hacker on your show the other day, just in the chat, just how does a channel build up, and how does arm wrestling channels, how they build up compared to other successful YouTube channels that are out there, just how does that work? How could arm wrestlers possibly learn from those guys and apply it to arm wrestling? Just
are you actively, forgive me for not knowing, but are you actively, when I look on social media, I see you fishing. I see you holding fish. Are you creating fish content, or are you creating arm wrestling content?
I'm kind of doing a goof on both, kind of. It's just kind of, I do some arm wrestling content, I do fishing content, but I'm kind of applying all my fishing stuff and trying to relate it to arm wrestling as much as possible. And the only reason why I'm goofing on that is because when I first started arm wrestling with my team, everybody swore the reason why I have such a strong hand and wrist is because of fishing. So I continually try to make that connection as a goof.
Okay.
But I do think it applies, though, to a certain extent. But
so are you just sharing on social media like I share my family stuff on Facebook? Are you actively trying to build a following and create a channel and
I'm just doing it. I'm not really expecting much out of it, but I am just doing it because a lot of people ask. They just especially a lot of arm wrestlers, they want to know about all my fishing stuff. That's all the questions that I get, really. It's just all about fishing, because I think the cat has been out of the bag about that. Everybody thinks my hand and wrist is strong from fishing.
And I'm sorry for not knowing, as I've only really seen the pictures of you holding up fish. So you're saying if I actively took up fishing, I would probably, well, now that I think I started winning a lot of arm wrestling matches, and I was in the 2010 or 11, I was attributing it to holding up the camera all day, every weekend, continually doing this. And I was developing a pretty good thing. And that's kind of the same thing with the fishing, right?
Well, I've been fishing for 28 years, Gary.
And are you saying that if I start fishing for the next 20 years, it hooked me up?
Possibly. Look, this is just what the guys on the team have brought up to me. This is where they think the root of my power has stemmed from.
But you got to actually catch something. If nothing is on my line, then I'm not doing anything, right? You got to actually be trying to tow a big fish in.
Do you know how many fish this guy catches? He catches 80-pound fish every single day, Gary.
Every day?
All the time.
I fish a lot, Gary.
Where do you live that you can go fishing so much?
I live close to the water. I live 20 minutes from the water.
I don't know what that means. Which water?
The Atlantic Ocean. I live in Jersey, and I fish in the waters outside of Jersey.
I'll never forget. Man, I wish I could remember what tournament it was. I went to a tournament, and I think I went to Atlantic City for the first time, and I remember parking, and I walked, and it was the first time I went on the beach, and I was I'd never put my feet in the Atlantic Ocean, ever. It was a big deal. It was at night, 10 o'clock at night. It was I grew up on the Pacific Ocean, but never touched the Atlantic. So you just lived near it.
Correct. Yes.
That's pretty cool. Well, hey, Uncle John, you had any parting thoughts before we cut on out of here?
No, I think just everybody get ready, because the next week and a bit are just going to keep on getting crazier as we head towards the big match.
Yes.
Go buy the pay-per-view, support it all. I'm assuming that things will just get will continue to ramp up. Also, I got Corey Miller on my show tomorrow night.
What?
Yeah, he's coming on. So we're going to talk about all sorts of Corey Miller stuff, about his process of becoming an arm wrestler. He wants to talk a lot about his training and specifically how he analyzes opponents that he's about to go and pull. And I'm really excited about that, to kind of hear what his procedure is for identifying strengths and weaknesses in other opponents.
So I will give Corey Miller, he's the first person that I met, and I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, when I was doing the ARMTV road trips and all that, I haven't really gotten into airing those videos yet. They're coming. But nowadays, you see people on their social media with all their apparatuses and the cables and the pulleys. Corey Miller, I believe he was one of the first that I met and we put on the internet. His table had the most like bands I'd seen from different directions. And when we shared that, the comments online were like, oh shit, I'd never seen this. Like he got very, like nowadays it's all over the place, but I'm curious to know if it was the first of its kind, because I'd never seen anything and the comments were saying it was new. So he is.
What I remember from Corey Miller, you might have been a video of yours, Gary. He had the total gym. You remember the total gym that Chuck Norris did?
Yeah.
And he would sit on that and he would have weights, and then he would do like back pressure and hooking and pull his entire body weight on the total gym.
Yeah.
Just with that.
He was doing some groundbreaking stuff back then.
Yeah.
All right, Jason Merlot, any parting words?
See you guys next week.
All right. Hey,
Beautiful.
Congratulations on your baby.
Yeah. Congrats, man.
How old?
1 month now.
Boy or girl?
Girl.
What's her name?
Jade.
And are you sleeping at night?
Yes, I am. We're only getting up at max once a night. We're very lucky. I hope it stays this way. Yes.
Wow. Shout out to Mizelle Jador. Thank you very much again for
thank you, Mizelle,
doing your moderating action over there. And closing words, man. I need some of you guys to sign up for my Patreon. Come on. Uncle John, I have way more subscribers than you, but you are crushing me in Patreon. What's your trick, bro? Because you're a nicer guy.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but I think that it's really important to understand that there are certain people who are just amazing people. And I really have tried to identify certain people who just are really into helping, and they like the content and they're willing to, you know, part with a bit of their money to support everything. And man, I'm just super grateful to those people. And I can't, there's nothing I can do to thank them enough, really. Cause it does everything.
Well, I mean, you are amazing. You're doing good work. And how long you been doing your channel now?
It'll be 2 years in August.
And what's your subs at?
We're closing in on 4K.
Were you
the goal for the year?
What were you a year ago?
A year ago, we were under 2 for sure, like 1,500. So the goal for the end of this year, at the beginning of this year, my goal was to get to 5,000 by the end of the year. So we are definitely on pace to do that.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Sure.
Did we talk about it on the phone? We weren't online when Devin, I just want to again remind Devin Laird said, this sport is blowing up and you, the cream of the crop, are so awesome. You could be at 1 million subs. Could that happen? Are we in this world where we're really going to actually do it?
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. I mean, here's the deal, like going back to that idea of how we can go forward. The only thing I ever think about is consistent creative content. That is it. I don't really get wound up into the numbers. I don't get wound up into a lot of things. I just want to, every week, I put out my content and I try to make it as creative as possible. That's it.
And you said you haven't missed a Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, Friday?
Monday, Friday for the last 1.5 years now, and I have not missed a Monday or a Friday.
Nice.
2 videos a week consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone just, we'll talk about it more next week, but anyone who wants to do that, that's what it takes, man.
That's it.
Consistently creating the content. And, you know, even when somebody's not looking, you got to still keep doing it.
It's an investment. It's an investment.
Absolutely. We got 2 more super chats. Daniel Urick, $5 says, my pleasure, sport growth. Daniel Urick is a huge supporter of mine. Thank you so much, Daniel. Also, Matthias Bedard at $10 says, Uncle Rapper John, your channel will blow the frick up. Thanks, man. Yeah. Go take a look at the Team Devon rap. That was probably my peak creativity of channel so far.
All right. Well, congratulations, man. It's awesome.
Thanks,
keep up the good work, Jason.
Thank you.
I have a son, and I, you know, maybe an outdoor activity like fishing would be good too. I never really fished as a kid, so I might try that with my kiddo. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks for consistently being here, and man, just keep on supporting all these channels. All right, guys.